And to welcome back to the set of Harvest. You know, we all walk through painful moments in life, but when we give our brokenness to God, He turns our missteps into a message that can be used to help other people. Singer Sommer Floyd has a new message. It's called Ray of Light. Welcome to the Harvest Show.
Thank you.
Sommer. Okay, so I opened up talking about, the missteps that we take in life and some of the decisions that we make. They can be used for God's glory. And I was listening to Ray of Light, and I could just hear all of this in your music. Kind of tell me, how did you even come up with it? What's the backstory of it?
Well, the funny thing is that whenever the album was actually being created, I had no idea that God was going to turn it into a music ministry. What had happened was I was at the lowest point of my life, and I found out that I was going to be a mother, and I was scared to death. And so instead of talking about it, I started writing down my feelings and my emotions down on a piece of paper. And music has always been a huge part of my life. And so I guess that side of it kind of kicked in, and I picked up my guitar and my Bible, and I just began writing all of these songs that just turned into worship for me that, in time, 2 years later, ended up being put onto an album called Ray of Light.
So then that means you became a single mom.
Oh, yes.
Okay. There are moms, of course, Sunday is Mother's Day. Mothers are listening and watching. What would you like to say, just as a side note, to encourage them?
Well, I think that it's just really awesome that God has given us the title as mothers. Because what a new and just beautiful strength that we find just being a mother. And, God never promised that it was going to be easy, but He did promise us that He'd always be there. And so my advice to moms out there is to slow down and just take the time to just listen and enjoy the little moments that God puts before us, and don't miss out. And I think kids have a really great way of showing us that.
So music runs through your family because your brother is a country singer?
Yes, he was, but now he's actually a husband and a father of 4. So, so if that tells you anything.
Okay,
so.
It tells me that he certainly has his priorities in the right place.
Yes, exactly.
Ray of Light. Let's talk about some of the, some of the cuts. Stronger. Tell me about that one.
Stronger was kind of a last minute thing. I was actually on my way to Tennessee to finish up the recording process, and I began writing this song because a dear friend of mine called me and told me that his wife, they had gone into the emergency room, which I knew about. We were thinking it was allergy related, and she came out finding out that she had leukemia. And so I think that something that a lot of people struggle with, and even in terms of believing in God, is, well, if God's real, then why do bad things happen to good people? And, that was something that I even, I felt a lot of sadness and a little bit of, frustration, because I'm like, why them? Because they're incredible people just to begin with. He had been the worship pastor for, over 30 years, and she was a huge part of the church and a teacher, and just the perfect role model for whenever you think of someone not only speaking about Christ, but living it. And so, but through that, what I realized whenever I wrote this song, it talks about the fact that God never said it was going to be easy, but, His love for us is real. And in our weakness, His strength is made perfect. And that's something that it really speaks to a lot of people, but it really speaks to me as well, which is really neat to listen to my song and to be reminded that it's going to be okay.
So you can imagine the impact that it must have on listeners or someone who's in a concert listening to you sing, to hear them sing the lyrics back to you, to sing your music back to you. What's that like?
Stronger is one of the most emotional songs for me that I have. I actually sang it at Cindy's funeral, and it's just incredible. I mean, people worshiping in general, to me, is just,
it takes you to another place.
Exactly. Well, and I believe that music in general speaks to people in a way that words cannot, because we're so rebellious at times, and it's like we get good advice, but we can't accept it and, move forth with our life and actually apply it. But yet you hear a song and you're like, that's exactly what I needed to hear. I mean, I tell you what, there's a song out there for every day of my life, So it's like if you're feeling something, I guarantee there's a song that can help inspire and just lift you up in that moment.
What about I Need You?
I Need You is kind of, it's a desperate cry to God, realizing that we don't have it all, because for so long in my life, I went through a point to where I acted as if I was invincible. But the truth is that I don't have it all together, and that's fine because I know someone who does. And it's just the fact that every day of our lives, we need him even more.
And when you think about your music and when you think about what God, his plans for you, what does that instill in you? I know it's hope, but kind of talk about that, unpack that.
Excitement.
Okay.
I'm just so excited. And, you know, I truly believe, someone once told me that it's not about, if you want to be in God's presence, go where he's working. And so what's really neat about this whole situation and my music ministry is that God continues to open every door that we go through. And so, you know, I just pray that God will continue to open doors that no man can close and close doors that no man can open. And that's exactly what he's done so far. So whenever I envision my music and where I'm going, it's going to be where God calls me to go.
How's your daughter?
How old is she?
How is she?
Oh, she's great. I actually just got off the phone with her, and she's like, Mom, I cried a little bit last night because I really missed you.
Okay.
So, but no, she's great. She's with Granddaddy right now, and she's such a little blessing. Talk about, you know, you always hear stories about, you know, God turns brokenness into beautiful things, and, you know, you find blessings, and she is definitely my inspiration daily. And
so brokenness is not always it's not a bad thing.
no, not at all. I mean, I don't regret anything that I've been through, you know, because it's made me who I am now. And it's allowed me to appreciate all of the good things in life. And no matter what brokenness you're going through or what, you know, bad things are happening, God, there's beautiful, you know, powerful things that come out of that.
Sommer, what's your go-to Bible verse?
Well, you know, that's a hard one because there's so many scriptures that are encouraging, but one that really helped me was 2 Corinthians 5:17. Because it talks about, it says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. The old is gone, the new is here. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people need to hear, because it's not about your past mistakes or where you've been. It's about where God can use you and just picking up your feet and looking forward.
Wow, Sommer, thanks for so much for stopping by and sharing with us your new music. To connect with Sommer or to get a copy of her new project, it's called Ray of Light. Go to sommerfloyd.com or go to harvest-tv.com for more information. Harvest continues in just a moment.